I'm sorry. We have Antonio Colby,
Oh,
Al, and Larry Crockett's in the house, as well as Xavier. How's everybody doing tonight?
chilling.
Good.
Man,
All
I'm
right, well,
alive.
let's get this show right off the gate. We all know what happened on Sunday night. Quite a brutal show. If you missed the Walking Dead, that was probably one of the most brutal episodes I've seen in a while, in a very long time. The only thing that I would even think would be comparatively close, spoiler alert, would be is when old boy's dad go haywire in the season finale of the last Fear the Walking Dead. That was the only thing I could even think of that might even be remotely close to it. But Negan took the ball up. I was surprised that it was just as it was just as upfront as it was, man. I mean, that was some rough stuff. I mean, that was straight out of one of those mafia movies, man. What's that movie, TC? Where old boy sit at the table, they all sit in that room.
Oh, Untouchables.
Untouchable, yeah. And you just hit that dude with the bat right upside the head. Elliot Ness hit that dude upside the head with the bat.
It had to be that way, man. After the way season 6 ended, if Daddy came back with anything less, it wasn't gonna work.
I mean, my only complaint about the whole show Sunday was I felt like they should have ended last season with that.
Nah.
I don't know about that, man.
Yeah, I just felt because I felt like, and me and Antonio talked about this while we watched, is that it felt like I understand where everybody's going with the cliffhanger. I understand that. Let's remove cliffhanger and let's look at what was it, TC, an hour and a half?
Yeah.
An hour and a half. And basically it was just going down the line of who got hit, who did. And then finally at the end, probably about the last 15 minutes or so, that's kind of when you started to kind of get, prepared to move to the next part. I wanted to see a little bit about just, even if it would have been just a little bit flip over to see what Carol and what's my man? Morgan, what they were up to. And where's hey man, can somebody tell me where's that preacher at, man? I thought about that the other day.
I didn't see him either.
Oh, he's
Still at Alexandria.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So he'll be
definitely
okay. All right. I was thinking about, like, why was he not wrapped on the ground or whatever? Okay.
Rick
So
got him in charge of Alexandria.
okay. So well, we'll probably catch him next. Well, yeah, we'll get them next week. I would assume they're gonna probably fast track the.
Yeah, you didn't see the preview, man. That's where they start next week with Carol and Morgan.
So we'll get a chance to see Ezekiel hopefully next week. But outside of that, man, on the scale from 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a strong 9, 8.5, 9. Just based off what I said. But I just hope, now this is the problem. This is the problem when you talk about Walking Dead. Is the first episode of the new season will blow your ass away. Second episode of the season will introduce somebody new. And then we're going to sit around on the stoops and we're going to talk about everything until the season finale. And then we'll get alphabeted and everybody else.
You gotta have proper pacing though, man. You gotta, if you got a show, man, that's got 15, 16 episodes, you gotta have proper pacing for it. You can't just jump out the gate and give out the whole story in the first 8 and then not have nothing for the last 8.
Well, let me ask you this. Would y'all, TC, what would you feel, and having watched The Strain, and Xavier might chime in on this, I feel like a shorter season can help a show more than dragging it out.
It can.
I totally agree. I agree.
And The Strain, if this goes back to what I was telling you at the store last week, Larry, is that with this season, 10 episodes is enough. Anything outside of that.
Oh, I think 10 episodes is proper really for any show, man, because once again it's 5 and 5, but it's a proper build up and it's not as long as waiting. Because what Walking Dead gonna have you go 8 episodes, then you have a mid-season finale, then a break, then it's not gonna come back to January, February.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
I mean, it cuts out all the fillers.
right.
Yeah.
It's just a reference to what Larry was saying before we got on, because we were talking about Dragon Ball Super. It's like, is it taking them all episode to power up? Having a shorter season takes away all of that extra stuff, you know. So I agree with the shorter season.
10 episodes is right, man. Like, I don't know if y'all watch Power, but you know, you get 10 mini movies basically instead of a season. You got 10 1-hour-long movie episodes basically. They leave you hanging for the next episode. But by the time you get to 10, it's like, okay, you know, it's just enough to put you right there.
It's enough to make you hate the person that you started liking again.
Right.
Well, I think Jeffrey. Now I'll tell you what, man. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's done a hell of a job. He did a hell of a job playing Negan, man. I'll tell you that. And,
That dude's a great actor.
yeah,
Anyway.
he's a good actor, man. I mean, I've never thought bad of it.
He really established himself on
Yeah.
that first episode, as far as who he is, as far as an actor, and who the character is itself.
Yeah.
I thought he did that in season 6. You just knew it was going to get bad.
It was worse on Sunday, man.
Yeah.
Sunday was. I mean, it wasn't even the baseball bat hitting. It was just how ruthless he was. That was the whole vibe I got from it. It was kind of like he's that dude that you love to hate. He's the guy that you love to hate. You're like, you know, if you read the book, you know, if you read the book or you're current to the book, you kind of know what's going on now, and that's gonna get interesting. I'm not going to not spoil it for anybody, but even what they're dealing with now is going to be interesting to see how that's going to play out down the line. And it also makes me wonder, because it's funny to say that, you know, they're fast track up to almost current Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to be interesting to see how they go from here.
You heard Kirkman say, man. Kirkman said he definitely didn't want the book to follow, or this TV show to follow the book. He said he wanted both of them to end totally different ways.
Okay. Antonio, your thoughts on Sunday show, my friend?
I enjoyed it. I mean, it set the tone, and like they said after on the Talking Dead afterwards, it pretty much reset the show, like going forward, how it's going to go story-wise and character-wise, because all the characters are pretty much have changed their mentality on what to do from this point forward. It's not going to be the same old, we just run in, take over, and then move on to the next spot. Now it's like there's a bigger dog in the yard now, and we have to watch out and avoid that dog.
Yeah.
Well, everybody pretty much hit it on.
I just messing with
What was that?
you. I just messing with you. All right, you go ahead. Go ahead. I was just messing with you, man. Go ahead.
I didn't know if that was me or you. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your viewership. I think Larry and TC and X hit it on the head, man. I think in the 7 seasons that the show's been on TV, that was by far the best. That show was masterfully done. I have to give props to Jeffrey Dean Morgan. But not only that, man, but you could tell the benchmark of a good actor, because it seems like when really good actors get together, they bring out the best in everybody that they work around. And I'm going to tell y'all, I always thought Andrew Lincoln was a pretty good actor, but that the coexistence between him and Negan on the show Sunday, it was like you've never seen Rick in that position. They've been through the governor. They went through, what was the name of them jokers that was the cannibals?
The Terminus.
Terminus.
They went through Terminus. They went through various threats in that show. You've seen Rick vulnerable, but he always bounces back. This time, no. I mean, from the very first start of the show up until the ending of that show, and I don't do a lot of cursing on this show, but excuse my French, he made Rick his bitch. That whole show. Literally. I mean, the psychological warfare that Negan played on Rick's psyche left him broken. The dynamic now, like TC said, it's a brand new show. And I don't honestly think that there's going to be, hopefully, I don't think there will be any issues with the show as far as having filler, because right now they got a lot to work with. You know, just for that whole, and it's amazing how that one show, the season premiere, I would have thought that show would have been the 90-minute show, but they did all of that in 60 or 48 minutes.
Yeah.
And to me, that was the most amazing thing. To me, they told a story. They didn't have to go too far back. They made you believe that Negan got all up in Rick's dome, and Rick is owned by Negan. What did Negan say? Negan said, what was that catchphrase he said about?
Shut that shit down.
No, it was something else he said. It was something along the lines that everything belongs to me or something. At the end of that show, he made you believe that. I would be shocked and I would be dismayed if not for that particular performance, if Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Andrew Lincoln weren't nominated for an Emmy. They deserve it for that show.
Yeah.
And I just hope that they keep the I mean, of course, there are going to be some low points. Like next week's show is supposed to center around Morgan and Carol. And from what I read, and I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, Ezekiel's not going to show up until episode 3.
Have y'all seen the meme for next week? The meme, the Carol of Duty meme.
Oh yeah, I saw it with the 2 guns. Hey man, Carol is that chick though. Boy. She has saved them on numerous occasions.
Oh yeah.
I honestly believe if she would have been with him, it would have been Carol and Abraham that would have been awesome.
You know, I told Tony last night we were talking. I told him, I said, he took out. I know exactly why he took Abraham out, man, from a story standpoint. Because he had to get the Braun out the way, man. That's a big deal. He got to go.
Yeah, I would have took him out too.
Yeah, and then if Glenn would have stayed alive, ain't no telling how Glenn would have got a hold of that joker. That's somewhere that he would have got too.
Where is Shane when you need him?
Been saying that.
Hey man, let me tell you. First off, if Shane was alive, there would have been no governor. That's the first thing. There would have been no governor. He been dead a long time ago. He would have got in with the folk with Negan. He would have said, "Well, hey man, I want to join y'all." He would have took Negan out from inside.
He would have had 2 matching eyes. I can tell you that.
Yeah, boy. What you call it, man? Shane is ruthless as hell.
Well, I will say this though: if you pay attention to the show itself, and I know that's how they wrote the show, but Glenn didn't have to die.
No,
it was Daryl's fault.
That was Daryl's doing. Yeah, Daryl's fault. That's why Glenn got his skull bashed. Because Negan told him straight up. He said, I need to make an example. Y'all if y'all long as y'all comply to what I'm telling y'all good. What did Daryl do? He get up, call him man a son of a bitch. Yeah, right. He said the first one was free. Dude, he get up and try to, his sacks got super heavy. And what happened? He was feeling himself.
Glenn had to die.
Glenn had to die.
Iconic. That's why he had to die. Well,
yeah, but you know what? I actually posted in a group that I'm in that there was some alternate footage leaked where they actually thought about offing Maggie, and they had the whole scene filmed where Negan was going upside her head too. Could actually went either way. How that would have played out, remains to be seen. But you're right. That was iconic, and it's amazing how they got that so close to the comic book panel. So, man, I was tripping out over that.
Somebody else would have.
But I think they did a great job.
Glenn would have went crazy.
It was great though, man. Like I said, man, like you say, good actors bring the best out of each other. I think everybody on that set that day, hey man, they knocked it out the park. Like I posted on Facebook, that snot bubble that Rick had come out of my head. Hey, that's Academy Award material, there, boy. And the decision he had to make, man, cut off Carl arm.
Oh yeah.
Or have everybody die. Ooh, boy.
But see that thing right there, man. I got a homeboy that watches, and Carl is one of his favorite characters. I don't too much care for Carl, but at the same time, like Carl a G, man. Carl said, "Man, go ahead, Dad, cut it off." He already knew. He realized that, the only way we gonna get this man off our back is if you go ahead and get that thing done.
That's his first G
So
move.
Well, look, man, I ain't got no eye.
no,
I might well not have an arm too.
the man don't need to be completely incapacitated.
Hey, everybody else got all the extremities though, man. I might well just go and take one for the team and lose another one.
Yeah. Well, he was willing to do that though, man, and I think they're probably gonna play out as the show progresses as well. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I
like I said,
hate Carl.
well, Carl is not. He's not working that child on the first season of the Strain. That cat was something else, man. Oh,
I
that
don't
child's
like
worth the Carl. Oh God, Carl just does stupid stuff. Carl just wanders into stupid stuff.
He whines too much. I don't care about him being a little boy. He grew up in a zombie apocalypse. He should be a lot harder and thicker skinned than what he is.
Sure, though, from that season where he was eating that big can of chocolate pudding on top of that roof.
And lost his shoe.
Yeah. Hey, dude, your stomach gonna be tore up from now to eternity.
I think it's just the hat. If they take the hat away from that boy, I might be better.
It's symbolic, man. He can't get rid of that hat. His daddy gave him that hat from the first season when he showed up after Shane was screwing Lori. He can't get rid of that hat, man.
Hey, man.
That's just like Daryl losing his crossbow.
Yeah, but Daryl ain't always had the crossbow.
Oh. Okay.
I'm just saying, I don't like Carl. I'm sorry.
Well, let's switch gears. Let's roll over to last night. Last night, The Flash. For those who did not watch, we got a taste of the Mirror
Master.
Mirror Master.
Yeah, I went blank. Mirror Master. Well, it is well documented that Xavier did not like last night's episode. It is well documented in the gallows libraries of the United States that he did not like
It's not that
last
I
night's
didn't like
episode.
it. It's not that I didn't like it. But this entire season has been slow. You know what I mean? Like every other Flash season, you've only had like one, maybe two slow episodes. So far, every episode has been slow, and I don't like the direction that it's going. That's just me though.
I thought last night's episode on a scale from 1 to 10, I gave it a 7. I do think that they drug out the whole hugging and kissing in front of dad ordeal, which that's for those younger kids, which, I kind of knew that. However, I don't think that they need to keep pushing that any further. I think that they need to start moving. We got Killer Frost on there now, Alchemist. We got several different ways we could go with this show. I will say that the last 2 episodes that I've watched have been better because I didn't watch the other one. I think I missed the one when I was in Dominican. But the last 2 episodes were better than that first one. I'll tell you that. First one was god awful. But I thought last night, I'll tell you what I really like about the Flash. I like special effects. I really get captivated by those special effects on the show. Tonio, the Flash, that's your baby, man. Talk about your baby.
I'm liking the Flash, man. You know what? The thing I like about the Flash is you can see the potential of where they can go with it, and that's really the thing that intrigues me the most. Because I can see Wally West going to Alchemy to become Kid Flash because he knows in his heart he's supposed to be a speedster, and you can see it coming that he's going to go to him. That's going to happen, and they've already told ahead about Gorilla Grodd coming back. That's going to be something I'm looking forward to. And then they're going to do a crossover with Arrow and Supergirl, which I think that's going to be pretty good. I wonder they're going to bring in the Legends, but Legends right now is kind of, I'm really not sure where they're going with it. But overall, I mean, I'm liking the Flash. I like the potential of what it could be. in the future. Like you said, last night episode, they kind of drew it out. Mirror Master. I mean, it's the Mirror Master. It is what it is. I mean, next episode he fighting some giant in the city's giant monster. So we're gonna see how that's gonna play out too.
Stopping ships from falling on buildings. Al, did you get a chance to watch The Flash last night, brother?
I did. I thought it was a decent episode. My two favorite characters on there, man, is Harrison Wells and I like the little angle that they had with Harrison Wells, bringing the alternate reality Harrison Wells. Even though I think that's going to probably open up another subplot. Overall, I like how they revamped Mirror Master, where he didn't rely on that gun. His powers were, metahuman in nature. But I do like how they referenced the original Mirror Master with him being on Earth too.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a decent episode. Personally, man, I would like for Godspeed to show up, but I know that probably ain't gonna happen no time soon.
Now, Al, I read last night, man, that they actually he won't show up. He's not gonna show up this soon, but they've already started taking steps to look for his character. Who's gonna play his part?
Huh. Interesting.
So how are they gonna do it?
I mean,
they're gonna have to have another speed storm. Well, they're gonna have to have a speed storm.
Yeah. I was like, well, you know how the Flash is, man. They'll just reverse everything. They'll go reverse it or either. That's the one thing I like about that show. They can do whatever they want to do because they can go back and fix it. So ain't no telling how they'll pull that off. But yeah, I saw it last night. Actually, while I was sitting there watching The Shield. So I'll see if I can find that article again after it and send it to y'all.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, I thought it was a pretty decent episode, though. You good. But like I said, I mean, out of 1 out of 10, I would probably give it about a 6 or 7. All that mushy stuff is for the tweens and the preteens and
even
everybody like Taylor Swift. Well, I think they kind of went a different route with him. I like how they had his demeanor set up as really being arrogant. I really like how they brought brought Captain Cole into the mix, even though and everything. But I mean, it was a decent episode. It wasn't none that I would watch again, but it was okay.
Yeah. Larry, we know you don't watch it because it's just The Flash, so you're out of DC. So, like Xavier pretty much already stressed his point. So let's go ahead and move on to the other elephant in the room. And I'm gonna tell you, man. I told Antonio last night when we watched it. I said, The Shield is so damn good to me right now, man. Agents of Shield. I mean, I just absolutely love Ghost Rider. I love everything about him. I love the action, man. I don't know if anybody noticed how action-packed these episodes have been. The last 2 or 3 weeks, right out of the gate, and it stayed that way the whole time. Also, got to. Did anybody notice when the guy, the quote unquote new head of S.H.I.E.L.D., did anybody pick up on any of that last night while he was getting interviewed?
When he came out and said that he was an Inhuman?
Yeah. So now we got another element to that entire show, which is going to be interesting to see how that's going to play out.
Who is this chick that got in the car? Is she also an Inhuman?
That's what I'm thinking, man. I was sitting there thinking about that last night. Like these Inhumans are all over the place.
Because remember a couple episodes ago, maybe 2 episodes ago, she was in somebody's house, and before she left, they showed where she turned this dude into put him in some kind of cocoon or something.
Yeah.
So is she Inhuman or I don't know. I like where it's going, but I just they got their way of keeping you tuning in every week. I can say that.
Yeah.
Step it up, man. They were losing viewership with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., man. So they had to. And why did it take them so long, man, to make a decent Ghost Rider, man? Like, I don't understand.
Properties.
Yeah,
Sony
botched it, man.
Did y'all see the tribute to the old Ghost Rider?
Yeah, it was in there. We called it last night. Did y'all see it?
I read about it. I didn't watch the show last
Yeah.
night.
They had the helmet.
Johnny Blaze.
They had the helmet, and they had the jacket in there from the old Johnny Blaze. It was in there. You got to go back and watch it. Yeah, go back and watch. You have to look real hard. It's on the shelf.
Yeah.
They get it, and then the jacket is on the trunk. But,
And I also read that there was a poster on the wall too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the poster actually was a reference to the circus that Johnny Blaze performed in before he became Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
The whole basement was pretty much like, it looked like Johnny Blaze's basement. I mean, if you walked in and just looked at it, that'd be the first thing you would think, okay, I'm in Johnny Blaze's basement, because it had like the old, like, what's the dude, like the Evel Knievel helmet with the white, the red, white, and blue helmet. It had a regular helmet, and it had a leather jacket. It had the posters everywhere. So I mean, the whole thing was like a tribute to him when you walk down there.
Yeah, it was real cool, man. And then next week's episode they're gonna give you some origin on Ghost Rider, which is gonna definitely be good. So, I like the way that they did that. They didn't just come straight out and do it. They, it's in the middle of the season, which is gonna be interesting.
Well,
Robert Reyes is just a kick-ass Ghost Rider, man.
It's hard for me to watch a show, man, from week to week to week. I prefer like the Netflix way, or man, just I wait till the whole thing come out, man, or this whole season go away, and I buy a box set or something like that, man. Just week to week is just can't do it, man. It's rough.
Tonio, thoughts on the shit on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I'm liking it. I mean, I with the way I see it going, I see them pushing more and more Inhuman stuff out, because they can't do the whole mutants anymore, because that's pretty much like off their level, and they'll be able to even mention it. So basically, they're just saying like anybody that comes up with powers now is Inhuman, and I think it's gonna become like a regular, ongoing thing and build up to eventually like an Inhumans movie or Inhumans showing up in a movie.
Did you see the deal though?
Huh?
Did you see the deal that Fox worked out with them on that?
No, elaborate, please.
Well, what they were saying was, man, that it's a way that
oh, I see what y'all talking about.
the X-Men, Fox is gonna have 2 new X-Men shows coming out. One is based on Legion, and what's the other one, Tony?
I can't think of the name of it. I know which one you're talking about though.
Oh, is it the
Runaways?
The one said New Mutants and Legion.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, actually, the deal was they tried to work out some with the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, but I guess it all fell through. But they actually kept the X-Men deal on the table, and Fox got a chance to bring 2 new series to TV in exchange for possibly bringing those characters to the MCU and kind of working it all in that way. But we'll see how that works out.
Dude, the whole motorcycle in there too.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally looking at it right now.
Yeah. When you walked in that basement, like it was like, okay, this is Johnny Blaze's basement. When you looked in there.
Larry, when they supposed to be doing that though?
It's supposed to all be worked in, man. They just talking about. I know the show's supposed to come out like in the fall.
Yeah, February is supposed to be Legion, I believe.
So I have a quick question. So did they shelve the New Mutants movie? Because I was reading a couple months ago that they were writing the script and they had decided which mutants were going to be in that movie. So they're not doing that anymore.
Nah, I think they still probably doing it all, but it's supposed to be somewhat kind of way that it's all going to tie into the MCU.
Yeah.
They trying to bring the X-Men back full circle.
Thank God.
I told you though, no X-Men, man. It doesn't do Marvel any good to get rid of the X-Men. They just can't do it. That was their cash cow for a minute, man. I don't know how anybody thought they actually were gonna get rid of the X-Men.
Well, since you brought it up, let's go ahead and let's talk about the rebirth of the X-Men early next year. Thoughts?
They got to do it right.
Yeah.
I tell off the bat, I don't like the Iceman and Jean Grey got their own book.
I'll tell you what I don't want to see.
And
I
you
damn sure don't want to see another all new X-Men. All new action-packed X-Men.
and,
It's like all
and
new X-Men though, man. I think it's great the way they came back and did that.
Go ahead,
I mean,
brother Al.
you know they're gonna do it.
I agree with Larry. Iceman is not on. He does not deserve his own title. He doesn't. I mean, Iceman is like Bobby Drake. He just
Human Torch.
yeah. That's kind of like the Human Torch having his own book, or yeah, or Maggot, or one of them obscure. I mean, I ain't taking nothing away from Iceman, but yeah, that whole thing, man. And it's not a surprise that it was a surprise to me that they decided to go back and bring back the blue and the gold team, as well as Iceman, Jean Grey, and then Generation X, which is a really good book. If y'all could go back and pick up the first run, Generation X was pretty good. But for the simple fact that I hope it's done right, and I hope it's done correctly. And I hope they're not doing it from a vantage point to say, okay, well, we're going to go back to the heyday of when the X-Men were hot. Because, when they did the gold and the blue team, that was part Jim Lee's idea when he was with Marvel.
Well, that's exactly what they doing.
So that's what they're going to be doing?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. If you listen to the creators, they were saying that, hey, man, we got to go back to when people had an interest in the X-Men, man. We got to go back to that creative point. You know what I'm saying? And what you got Generation X, you got Weapon X, you got the blue, the gold. They've already teased. They said X-Man is gonna come back and lead them into glory. And they would say, "Can you guess who it is?" And I was like, "Well, if Cyclops is dead and Wolverine is dead, who you got left?"
The Banshee.
Man, stop.
Oh my God. Please don't.
Hey, they resurrecting everybody else, might as well bring them back. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, let them tell it. The death of X-Men, like, it's still some people that's left to die in that.
And see, that's what I understand. Okay, so you bringing the X-Men back in full force next year. Never mind. It's for sales. It's sales.
Yeah, it's all
I'm just leaving that alone.
Wait, the whole thing,
Yeah.
I think, teasing, and that's why I was thinking in the beginning. The whole thing was to tease the death of the X-Men, was to go ahead and say, well, now we got a relaunch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We never had any real plans to kill them, but we had to make it seem that way to go ahead and tease and hype this relaunch that we doing next year.
Which brings me to another point that I want to ask y'all. The relaunch thing. I don't know if y'all saw that little thing that I posted in Gaming Buddies earlier, but it seems to me that Marvel, and I love them, but they getting on my nerves. It's a habit, man, and it's been going on for like the past 5-6 years that they start all over, and then they say, well, we're gonna do this. We get like, for example, the X-Men. You got the all new X-Men, you got Uncanny X-Men, you got Extraordinary X-Men. So you got these books going. Larry said all new is pretty good. I like the Extraordinary X-Men. But then all this stuff is going to come to a head at the end of this year to open up the door for a relaunch next year. My question to you all is this. What are y'all's thoughts of as far as longevity in comic books? Meaning, back in the day, you had books that went issue 500, 600, 700. And I know that's probably not going to happen again. And I read somewhere where they were talking about a lot of books were done are being done now kind of like in seasons, where Marvel will do a series, and then after that series is over, it's kind of like they run limited series instead of an ongoing series. So what are y'all thoughts about this whole relaunch thing, where you have books that keep getting rebooted or relaunched all the way to #1? Do you all think that actually, like, it interferes with the value of the book, and not necessarily saying price wise as far as monetary value, but as far as like just the overall integrity of the book. How do y'all feel about that?
I don't necessarily think it damages the integrity of the book. I see what they were trying to do. They were saying that each time we switch creator or creative teams, a new creative team has a new story to tell. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start over, not necessarily mess with the continuity of that particular book, but we got a new creative team and they're going to actually take the helm now and go somewhere else. I think, let's be honest, for a long time in comics, number ones were a good way to bring money, you know, because everybody's gonna buy a number one. So you see number one up there, I gotta have it. You know, even with the hip hop variants, man, the number ones are, you know, so. But yeah, them days of you seeing a 1 through 544 or Amazing Spider-Man go up to 600 and something, or Batman go up to 700 and something. Nah, them days gone, man.
I think only the only comic book that's even around now is at 9 some odd, and that's what Action Comics or what Superman
Comics.
Detective Comics. Yeah,
Well, Detective Comics and Action Comics are still up there. But yeah, all the rest of them they did start over. So.
Yeah.
Now I think it's not too late for them to do like what they did with some of them, like even with the X-Men, where they'll renumber them, but then they'll come back and say, okay, well, this number 600. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, actually, they could with Uncanny X-Men, but even at that, what did I have to look it up. Volume 2, I can't remember what number that ended on.
20.
So they could actually go back and just say, you know what, we can do Uncanny X-Men all over again. That's if they wanted to do that. And I think that would make more sense than anything else. Especially when you talk about relaunching it. I'd just relaunch Uncanny X-Men and be done with it. But I don't think we'll ever see a 500. Like Larry said, I don't think we'll ever see that again. That was all. This is a once in a lifetime ordeal there.
Nah, you won't see that anymore, man. It's just like I said, I think they have with the creative teams and everything they do now, man. And I know what Marvel's whole thing, what they were saying was, when we switch creative teams, we want you to be able to jump on right here and not necessarily have to know about what happened before. But I think that was the whole point of reading comics, man, that it was a continuation of what's already happened.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing, because if you look at, you know, Larry, you collect Uncanny X-Men, the writers that they've had on that book for like the last 15 years, they've all varied, but they've all taken whatever storylines that were going at that time when they took over and just made the story their own.
Yeah.
So I think that was my biggest gripe about it, is that, you know, you don't necessarily have to reboot the story all the way to number 1. You know, you could just go ahead, like if it's issue 62, make something poignant about that particular issue that make people want to buy it, and, you know, just keep it moving from there. And I don't even see it. I don't even expect it to go, like, you know, books to go to issue 500 or 600 or 700, but dang, at least let the book go to issue 100.
Yeah, I would say you might not even see a 100 anymore.
I'm gonna see a 50 anymore.
Yeah. You know, you get to 50 now, man. That's gonna be like prime real estate.
That's a milestone.
Yeah, that's a milestone now with the way they switch up stuff and cut off stuff. I mean, hell, Cage is on the full comic book.
And that's the thing, though. I mean, the whole point, you know, when they had an issue 25 or issue 50 or issue 100, most times those issues were double-sized issues. Right. Went on in that book that said, okay, well, since this is issue 50, we're going to have a big event. It might not have been the death of somebody. X-Men might have teamed up with the Avengers or something. You know what I'm saying? It might have been some kind of cataclysmic issue that they resolved in that book. But they made that book to where, okay, I got to get this book. There's some stuff going on in this book. I need to get this book. It's issue 50, yada, yada, yada. So, I'm done.
It's all for money. I mean,
yeah, that's what it is. It's about the grab. It's the grab.
It's all about the bottom line.
Yeah,
it always has been.
It's for money.
You got to think about it. You had the 90s boom, man, of comics, and then comics kind of died out for a minute. Then they had to do something to kind of get everybody's interest back. So hey, and then when Disney bought Marvel,
Yeah.
they saw cash cow.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of cash cow, next week, Doctor Strange. Can y'all believe that Doctor Strange is here that quick?
Yep.
I mean, absolutely insane. So I'll be going to see it next Sunday. I won't be able to see it on Friday.
I've seen some people panic, and I've seen some people say it was great from the premieres. So
I think it's going to be world class. Brother Coleman saw something that said it's the greatest of all time.
Dang.
they say visually it's stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be hard to live up to as the greatest Marvel movie, but I mean, we'll see.
Greatest Marvel movie. What's y'all thoughts on that? What's your favorite Marvel movie, man? I
ain't gonna say favorite, but I definitely think the greatest is probably, man, when they pulled off the Avengers. I think, man, that set the bar for everything else.
Yeah.
Iron Man was cool, but when they put the Avengers out there, I think that was the new bar.
Right. I think it's the Avengers followed by Guardians of the Galaxy.
I can dig that.
Brother Al?
I think it's the Avengers, but I'm gonna deviate a little bit. Guardians of the Galaxy was good, but I'm gonna say Civil War.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
You know why I said
Avengers
go ahead.
I'm sorry. The reason, and I'm with Larry. The Avengers really, to be honest with you, it set the bar for any ensemble comic book, and that's including the X-Men, because the X-Men hadn't had any type of movies to that caliber. So when you're thinking about an ensemble movie with a cast of characters, Avengers was the blueprint that made everything right. That movie, it was fluid. Nothing disjointed about that movie at all. You knew why everybody was in that movie, for what reason. Action was where it's supposed to be. The story, the whole nine. So, yeah, close second would have been Civil War. So,
cool. Well, Doctor Strange is almost here. I can't wait to go see it. It's crazy, man. I don't know if y'all seen those prices with those Doctor Strange comics. I think it's $169. What's that's going for, man? It's absolute silly money now, man. And that's gonna go out of the damn roof next week. So I can only imagine how much that's gonna be going for starting next week after that movie comes out. So, all right.
Just ask a question, man. Did anybody see the Logan trailer? Did anybody?
Yes.
The old man Logan. Oh, that's right. You did join us last week. We talked about that last week. But since we've got Antonio Coleman and Larry Crocker on tonight, let's revisit that one more time, Xavier Al. Let's talk about that. Antonio Coleman.
I got a lot of questions about that trailer, man. It's a lot of stuff, man. That's just doesn't make sense. I mean, I got questions about the timeline. I got questions.
Why you got questions about timeline, Tony?
I mean, this is supposed to be in the future, right? Like 20 years into the future.
Yeah.
Every X-Men is dead, right? But the Dodge Ram is still like the number one selling vehicle of all time. Because Logan riding in the Dodge Ram. Dudes coming after Logan riding in the Dodge Ram. And those look like 2016 Dodge Ram. So I would expect something futuristic in the future is all I'm asking and saying. I figured something would change and be advanced, and it wouldn't just be like the same old. Just, we all riding around Dodge Rams, chasing each other around train tracks and junkyards. That's one thing I got.
Mad Max.
I mean, yeah. Really. I mean, the other questions I got is that I know they're not gonna show Mr. Sinister. They already said he's not in the movie yet. His company's in the movie. And X-23 is in the movie, but I mean, are they just gonna skip over the whole thing at the end of the last movie, which I didn't even watch? I just read about.
I think with that, man, I think they saving that for the next X-Men movie. Honestly,
why?
Why? Yeah, exactly.
Why?
I know why. I know exactly why. Because it's Fox. And Fox does stuff like that. Only Fox would do that. Only Fox would move away from explaining how this happened. You know what? It just happened. It's like a love child. It just happened.
I'm holding high
You're not-
hopes. I'm holding very high hopes for the movie. I'm not gonna. Look, I got questions too, but I'm not gonna trash it yet.
I mean, if all these mutants are dead, I mean,
I'll trash it for you.
what's X-23 gonna do in the future if every mutant's dead? I mean, where's Deadpool? Where's Cable? Where's Bishop? Where's all these people?
Well, see, I don't think it's following that timeline though. I think.
But they're talking about doing a New Mutants, and I'm figuring the New Mutants gonna follow up with what the events have happened in the Old Man Logan, because timeline-wise, it should happen. But
Where's Sabretooth in all this, man?
he's
Where's this guy at, man?
Liv Schreiber
Where's Omega
is
Red at? Where's all these guys at? Old man. Now, Old Man Logan, man. You're supposed to be Old Man Logan. Where are these old villains, man?
Hey, man.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff they can't do because of different rights. Like they can't have the whole thing with Hawkman. They putting Xavier in there, and then they doing instead of like doing. I read like about the whole Hulk Town and all that other stuff that they're not going to do. So,
Man,
I think it's gonna be a combination of like a bunch of different storylines, man. I want
to be like it's gonna be like a damn upside down flip rubber bubble cake. That's what it's gonna be.
check this out. How about we stop giving them ideas on how to mess up characters that we like any further?
Oh my goodness,
Like,
man! I mean,
I'm
just
telling you,
It's too
Larry,
late for that, bro.
the thing about it
Too
is
late.
that this is something that the fans chose. Like Hugh Jackman said, "Okay, I'm gonna do one more Wolverine movie. What do y'all want?" And the fans chose Old Man Logan, which it would be a really good storyline. But technically, with the rights that they have and the rights they don't have, they couldn't do it right.
Right.
he's not even Old Man Logan.
You know, and I honestly think that they listen to the actual comic book fans, because I don't understand. It behooves me to think that any true fan of the comic book who's actually read Old Man Logan would agree to them to do an Old Man Logan. 2/3 of the people that's in the graphic novel or the comic book, you can't even have. And then for folks like Emma Frost, she's in Old Man Logan. Where is she at? You know what I'm saying? I don't have no Larry. You got more faith than I do, man. Because I got more faith in this comic book than I got. Well, I ain't gonna go political, but yeah, I don't have no faith in this movie, man. I don't. And I mean, it's not that I don't want to, because the Wolverine was partly decent. I still won't give it props, but as far as it goes, I don't have no faith in Old Man Logan, man. To me, it just seemed like it's just like any other X-Men movie. They have a whole rogues gallery or a library of characters to pick from. Like, hey, let's go ahead and pick Donald Pierce, like the Reavers. I understand, and thank you for correcting me that time, that the Reavers had a history of Wolverine, but why? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just didn't make sense. I mean, anybody, they could use Cyberman. They could use they could have brought back what's her Lady Deathstrike. They could use Omega Red, man. I mean, anybody better than Donald Pierce.
Well, I think the only thing really wrong, man, with the Wolverine was the end. The end where this dude got this flaming sword and he chopping Wolverine claws off.
That you have to hold with two hands.
Silver Samurai,
in order
man.
for it to work.
Silver Samurai.
You lost
Man,
me
that
with
was-
that. And then I
That
was
was a
saying
shredder.
you chop off the adamantium and then the bone claws come back, and I was like, what happened right here? You had me up until this one part.
well, see, that's what Fox does, man.
Okay, I just got a question.
That's Fox specialty. Go ahead, Tony.
If he has bone claws, then how does he have the metal claws in Old Man Logan?
Oh,
Because it's healing factor.
hey,
No.
hey, man,
It's Fox.
the power of the Dodge
It's Fox.
Ram. It's the Dodge Ram. That's what
I do have a question for Larry,
It's
though.
Fox.
Go ahead, Xavier.
Hey, Larry, so, because I know you up on it, but realistically, in the comics, what is the age of Dakin, and then what is the age of X-23?
Oh man. Ah,
Who came first?
Dakin.
Dakin?
Yeah.
Dakin came. Did he come way before or?
Yeah, they trying to say Dakin came along, man, when Itsu. So they were saying that he was just not known about, man. So I guess his healing factors kept him young too, but he's supposed to be around for a long time.
They hinted to him being in the movie also.
Yeah,
It's in the trailer.
with the claws.
Christ.
Yeah.
When he
That's
blocked
why
the
I was asking.
claws.
That
Right.
movie gonna be terrible, y'all. I'm telling y'all now.
It was the 3-pronged claws that came down.
Right. Because the way that it was angled, like if you go back and look at it, Wolverine is like this. And
I
then
saw
they
that
got,
part. Yeah.
they got 2 claws coming down, but the third one is like off center, like a bowling ball, just like Dakin.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why I was asking about that, because I already know the timeline is off as far as when Wolverine actually met X-23. Because from what I remember, she wasn't a little girl when they
No.
met.
Yeah, she was like a teenager.
Exactly. And this girl is like, what, 11,
Right.
12? So
Movie gonna be garbage.
Come on, Al, man. Come on, man. You gotta have some hope, man.
I'm with Al on this one, man. I think this is gonna be rough.
Man, I lost hope with the Wolverine. I lost hope with X-Men Origins.
Look, man, you didn't think Wolverine was good, man, when they was on top of the train, man.
No.
They had the good
No.
scenes. Yeah.
No,
No.
there's nothing good about that movie. Nothing.
And TC said the exact words that were about to come out of my mouth. There's nothing good to even talk about.
You know what was good about that movie? The only thing that was good about that movie
The
was when
end.
there you go. But the I can't remember if it was a post-credit scene or a deleted scene when old girl handed him the case and they had the old school suit.
Yeah.
That was the best thing
And he
about that
still
movie.
ain't wore it. He
But
still
he
ain't wore it.
never
Never
worn
will.
it in any movie ever.
Never
Ever.
will.
Never will.
Yeah, well, he ain't worn any suit technically, has he? He only wore the new X-Men suit.
Cyclops'
Black,
old suit.
Them black gothic suits.
yeah, the new X-Men suits.
Emo
Antonio,
suits.
I've got something for Antonio that he like to hear. He's probably already knowing Antonio. He's probably already knows that Black Panther they're gonna start shooting in January.
Yeah.
So they're gonna really get that fired up, and I think that's gonna be one of the Marvel's hits. Black Panther, and I've heard this from Coleman for the last 6 months. I think Black Panther is gonna be something that's gonna be top notch too. Yeah, and I'm excited to see a brother get a fair shot on the big screen. So I'm definitely excited.
Is anybody beside me wonder what Sebastian Stan gonna do with 5 more movies?
Yeah.
You talking about Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know they're talking about he's gonna take over the Avengers, man. That's what the word is on the street. That he's gonna take over.
Rumor has it. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Al.
Rumor has it, like you were saying, man, that I think Captain America is supposed to die in the Avengers, the next Avengers movie, which prompts Sebastian Stan to taking over the mantle of Captain America for like 2 movies until he shows back up again. So, because I think Chris Evans is, he's obligated for I think 4 more movies too.
Yep.
So yeah, it's gonna be something along those lines. So,
Well, if you think about it, in the world of Marvel, 4 and 5 movies is not a lot. Because all it takes is 1 cameo, and that's a movie. Like, that's how Robert Downey Jr. got his.
well, it could be.
You gotta think about it though. Robert Downey really ain't ever really made a cameo, bro. He been in there.
You got Thanos coming, man. Thanos is gonna clean house. There's gonna be a lot of folks crying and whining, but
Gonna be a Walking Dead type scene.
some folks gotta go. Yeah, some folks gotta go, man. It's time to thin the herd, as they say. It's time to thin that out. You're gonna be the one to do it.
Well, I hope they can bring the X-Men in there on them.
I mean, they just Fox just fucks it up for everybody.
Can you imagine an X-Men movie though, man, in the MCU?
Yeah, that's what I'm like, man.
Man,
Fox
I have
is-
imagined it. I've
Fox-
imagined it, but the only thing is they're gonna have to start all over in order to
Oh, yeah.
do it right.
Yeah, new cast, Whole
Yes.
new cast all together.
Entire new cast. And
Yeah.
my thing is,
Yeah,
I
get all
can't
this
see-
old
hey,
stuff. Get all these folks off here, man. Get all
With the
this.
exception of Hugh Jackman, bro. You gotta bring Hugh
I
Jackman.
would,
No.
I would jump through this computer and throat punch you.
You gotta go.
Start over.
Give me,
Zero.
give me
Here's
a
the
boy to
thing.
play Bane as
No.
as
Uh-uh.
Wolverine.
I
I'll take
think
it.
they should start all over and get all new actors, people that are not already set in their ways and stuck on themselves, and just have them blossom.
Hey,
You know
man,
what, though?
I can't see another Wolverine, man.
I can.
I put cash money on this. I guarantee y'all, man, that if they hammer out a deal, if Fox hammers out a deal with Marvel to allow X-Men characters in the Marvel universe, I bet you Hugh Jackman will unretire
Yeah, he would.
in a New York minute. I guarantee you. He's already said that he wanted to do a movie with Captain America and Iron Man, so I'm sure he would jump at the bit for that. So I don't know, X. If that happened, man, you might want to. Well, I don't know.
Speaking of the MCU,
You might be let down, sir.
let's over the weekend we saw the director is out at Deadpool after falling out with Ryan Reynolds. Remains to be seen as to what. Well, they said creative differences, but remains to be seen exactly what happened, who, what, when, and why.
Creative
So-
differences over cable.
Oh, well. I mean, cable is pretty much black and white, ain't too. You can't.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it's either one way or it's not one way. So
Right.
that'll be interesting to see. You know, I'm sitting here thinking, man, y'all got my mind going now, man, thinking about stuff. Wait, why the hell have we not seen? And you know what? I know somebody's gonna say he was in Wolverine or whatever. What the hell is Bishop being, man? What the hell is?
Man.
I mean, what the hell are
Bishop
they
died
doing over there, Fox, man?
He
I mean,
died in Days of Future Past.
Why? Why would you want to see Bishop?
it's just you
Why
got.
would you not want to see Bishop?
Thank you. Well, you gonna have cable with Bishop? Bishop ain't gonna be there with them.
Man, cable is hey, look, cable is essential to the Marvel universe.
Have it.
That's Cyclops' son. I can do without Bishop, dog, all day long. To me, after
Bishop is somebody's son.
Gambit.
bro,
I don't
after
wanna
we
see
figured out that after Bishop couldn't find out who the traitor was, then basically his time was done.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
That wasn't his fault, man. That was the writer's fault, man. He couldn't help. They couldn't make their mind up.
They didn't try to give him his own limited series. They didn't made him chase hope. They didn't. Now I take that back. In Second Coming and Messiah Complex, he was key. But other than that, man, Bishop has been like a major letdown.
Hey man.
Shoot, because he was key in Age of Apocalypse. Remember, because he was the only one that knew what was going on during that whole time frame when
Yeah,
everything
man.
was messed
But
up.
we talking about the Age of Apocalypse here, the 1995 crossover that broke everybody.
But cable did too.
Hey,
Hey man, well, I tell you what, Larry, you gonna mess right around and Fox is gonna come out with an Execution of Song movie. You gonna mess right around, and that's what they gonna do. And you gonna feel my pain. You gonna feel my pain.
Hey, check this out though. Now that I think about it, they have actually done something right. I'll give them a little credit. You can't have Sinister in the movie when Cyclops is quote unquote dead, even though they brought him back in Days of Future Past. You really can't. Cyclops was the only one that could hurt him.
I'm with Antonio, man. I just don't understand. Much as I like X-23, I do not understand how on earth she's gonna show up, but he gonna be sitting out sipping on lemonade on somebody's back porch. I really, I really don't understand what goes through the minds of the directors.
Larry gonna feel
Well,
like
now, if you think about X-23, man, that was Wolverine. Even in the regular company, knew nothing about X-23. I think that could really happen. You know, he had no clue.
I'm telling you, you're gonna feel like us after that movie come out and they just destroy.
They just happen to run into each other.
Well, you kind of sort of.
I mean, this
They're
dude
Hold
using
up.
her
like
key senses to sniff him out.
a old water bin. He's living in the middle of the desert.
Right. Right. No
and let me
Wi-Fi.
just add this.
I mean, we talking
Thought about-
Eli.
This right, and I just thought about this, y'all. Check this out. Okay, Isn't Caliban supposed to be in Old Man Logan?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Caliban. Yeah, Caliban
Yeah.
supposed to be in there.
Okay,
that is funny.
why?
Because
See that?
he's the only one that can track him.
What I'm saying?
Because he's the only one that can track other mutants.
No, but why? I understand, but why? I had to take the shades off.
We gotta watch the movie, Al. We gotta watch the movie.
No, it just proves my point that Fox they got a big notebook. They probably got a trapper keeper, and they got every mutant's name in this trapper keeper. They say, okay, we're gonna do a new movie, and when we do this movie, we just gonna do just like Negan, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and they just pick out somebody that they want in this movie. It's no rhyme or reason. Okay, all the mutants dead, like TC alluded to, but Caliban is still alive. Why? That movie ain't gonna make no sense, man.
Why did Apocalypse let him live? Why did Apocalypse let him live, but he killed other people for no reason?
Say, man, I won't be surprised.
Shade back
I
on.
wouldn't be surprised if Thunderbird in this movie, man. Just all
I'm
those
glad
things.
I remember that
Come out the
movie.
bathroom. He come out the bathroom.
Him
Thunderbird.
and the bench.
Yeah,
Him and the
Thunderbird
Banshee.
and the Vulcan. Here they come.
Right.
Not the Vulcan.
They already had Banshee in the movie.
Yeah,
Well, the real Banshee. I ain't talking about that fake one, man. That's garbage.
I was stupid. That man said Vulcan.
they just pull out somebody out of their ass knowing Fox, man. But that's what you get with them. Hopefully, Deadpool, man. This won't be a major setback to that. I really don't think. That's a classic example of it. Don't touch anything that doesn't need to be touched. Yeah. If it's not broke, just leave it alone. Don't go trying to dibble and dabble. Just
That's like what I said, man. Without Ryan Reynolds, there would be no Deadpool. You know what I'm saying? So he fought to get that movie. That was basically his dream, his baby. Why would you try to argue with him about it? Ryan Reynolds has already showed that he's very humble in the success that Deadpool has had. He's not gonna sit there and try to like deviate from the plan that got him the success with our Deadpool. Why would you like? I push back against the director who wanted to change shit too. But we don't know what happened. But if that's what happened, I mean, hell, like I said, without him, there is no Deadpool. Stop trying to go against him.
Well,
This
I
man,
said, we
he's
got
on
to
bread of the
we
fight
got
for
to
that.
see what the finished product come out to be, and then we can say who was right and who was wrong.
I agree with that.
well, not Al, but Antonio. What was the word that we got yesterday on the Defenders?
Next year. The
So
three
we got-
confirmed Netflix series next year. That's gonna be Punisher, Defenders, and Iron Fist.
Oh, so they're gonna do more than 2 a year then.
Yeah, three.
Yeah.
They've confirmed 3 next year.
3 next.
So Al, that kind of goes back to what we talked about 2 months ago, about them doing like a rotational schedule of shows that should, you should always be having something every quarter. Something should be coming out. So
Because they pushed back season 3 of Daredevil for the other show.
yeah.
They
And you
talked
probably get
2018 on that.
and what's the Punisher? Did you say Punisher next year?
Yeah,
Yeah. So Punisher probably the last one next year. They're probably gonna put Punisher out for the fall.
I know they were saying Jessica Jones with the cat. The episodes will be directed by all women next season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I also think the Defender's going to be last.
It should be.
It should. You can see it. It said thinking about it, yeah. Because Iron Fist is gonna come out first. We know Iron Fist is coming out in March, so that's gonna be first. So yeah, I guess you would say Punisher at the end and Defenders at the end, whatever. So yeah, that makes sense. I'm just waiting on another Iron Fist trailer, man. I only have to tell you how y'all know how I feel about Iron Fist. So I only have to go on there.
I never really got into Iron Fist like that though, man.
Kung Fu man. So me and Al into that kind of shit. Yeah, somebody getting their head knocked the fuck off. We'll take that all day.
They like, well, Enter the Dragon, man. Well,
Yeah, Enter the Dragon.
Out of the screen.
Yeah. Shaolin Shadow Boxer. Yeah, that's
Wu-Tang Sword Style.
And I think I'm trying to see if there's anything else here that I missed.
We
I
talk
think-
about Supergirl.
Yeah, Look here, man. I've heard from somebody on this panel that that show is pretty damn good. And
Pretty good.
you know, I told you I watched a little bit of the first season. I was turned off, but he slowly turned my head toward the watching this season.
Let me tell you something. I think I said this to Larry earlier. I think I've even said it in our thread. If you take the actors from Gotham and put them in
You did say
Supergirl,
that.
it will be a great show.
Yeah.
Because the writing is not the problem. It's the acting that makes Supergirl so hard to watch. And with Gotham, the writing is terrible to me, but the acting is on point. So if you take them and put them in Supergirl, that could be one of the best shows ever. You
Man,
know,
you know what to get me to watch Supergirl, man? If they just stop playing and make Kara Power Girl and give her that outfit that she wears in the comic.
dang, she can't fill it out.
Some butt pads.
She can't fill that out. I thought they showed Power Girl in this episode though.
I said, man, they don't even try to hide it though with Power Girl, man. It's just
Hey.
blatantly like
Hey, they gotta bring these viewers in, man. Do it.
Well, you know, yeah, and Wonder Woman was on this past week's episode,
Yeah.
according to Tonio.
She's the president.
Linda Carter.
She was a
you
president.
talking about the old Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah,
Linda Carter.
Linda Carter. Because she even referenced herself as Wonder Woman because she took
My other
Supergirl.
jet.
Yeah, because she said,
Yeah, she
"You need
said
to see
you like my other jet."
After she took on Air Force One, she like, well, you should see my other jet that I have.
The invisible jet.
Still look good too.
Yeah.
Has Gotham wrapped up?
No,
No.
Has anybody watched Gotham?
I did.
What's going on this season, man? Tell us
Nothing.
what's going on. I hadn't watched the tap.
I saw the Mad Hatter on the commercial, I think.
Yeah, and the Mad Hatter is more Riddler like than Mad Hatter.
How old is this guy? How old is this Mad Hatter? Is he 10, 15? How old?
No, he is he's about the same age as Jim Gordon.
10, 15.
What I tell you, man? Is Bruce still on the show?
Huh?
Is Bruce still on the show?
Yeah, he's still on the show.
Gotta
Let me
go.
tell you.
Yeah,
He said he gotta
Let me
go.
tell you about Bruce Wayne.
he's
Bruce-
supposed to be going down to what you call it, man. He's supposed to be down there with
He should've been gone.
Raja Ghul.
He should have been gone 2 seasons ago. He should have been in boarding school 2 seasons ago. But let me tell you, his nuts done failed because he's really feeling Selena Kyle now. He's actively trying to push up on her now.
You know that show has so much potential, but it sucked. Once again,
Oh, check this out. Matt, check this out. Poison Ivy is like 20-something years old now.
oh yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that.
Bro,
I personally like the show, man.
Okay, this is my question about the show.
dude.
Since they have Superman on Supergirl, which a lot of people like that Superman better than the Henry Cavill Superman.
I
Really?
did. I did.
A lot of people do because they say he acts more like Superman.
Wow.
He was more Clark Kent than Henry,
Yeah,
but he
I
was
thought
not
so
more
too.
Superman.
Could you bring in Batman?
No. He ain't gonna have nobody to fight. Who is he gonna have to fight?
I mean, they could advance his age the way they did Ivy.
Yeah, but she fell in water. And that's all she did. She fell in water.
And that advanced the age.
That is
It was some kind of chemical that was in the water too.
You know what, man? You know all that.
It was that
hogwash.
water from Flint, Michigan.
That's hogwash. That's hogwash, man. This show that, you know, I get so upset, man, when I think about how good Gotham could be, man. But it's like Antonio said, Bruce Wayne is 7 years old, and you got these villains that are gonna be 90. I mean, they're gonna be the Arkham Asylum retirement home by the time he comes back. Old man Bruce, old man Joker.
It ain't even old man Bruce. It's old man everybody else.
Yeah. Old man Penguin.
Dude, by the time now, here's the thing about Penguin though. You can have an old Penguin and an old Riddler. You can have that because they're not physical beings. You know what I'm saying? With the Penguin, they can have it where his goons are the ones that are really doing everything for him, as well as with the Riddler. They really got those two characters right. I will give them that. But Hatter, he ain't gonna be able to set up none of the tricks that he's supposed to set up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all this hypnotizing folks, yeah, you can do that, but ain't nobody gonna listen to no old man by the time Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. So he's irrelevant. Damn, Selena Kyle gonna easily tell everybody that he's that Bruce Wayne is Batman if they offer her $1. You see what I'm saying? Because they grew up together. Man, get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, y'all, for language, but get out of here with that. Ivy, since she's 20-something years old now, she ain't gonna be able to do nothing. She gonna be sitting there eating on eucalyptus leaves just to try to live by the time he become Batman. So I'm no. They need to start Alfred. I know he's old, but he gonna have a heart attack by the time he go out there and put the suit on. I can't deal with it. I can't.
Spoken like a true Batman fan.
Didn't they have they had the Venom for the Bane in one episode.
No, they didn't have Bane. They had the Venom.
Yeah,
they did have the Venom.
Yeah, they had the serum.
They've already had Azrael on there.
Yeah, I saw that. That's the last episode we watched, Tony.
They've already ended the Court of Owls. They've basically, it's like 2 people left for the Court of Owls, unless they're scattered all across the world now instead of Gotham City where they were centrally located at.
Well, let's
I'm gonna cry, man. I'm gonna cry.
All right. Well, Leonardo DiCaprio has stepped in and said he will be producing the upcoming superhero movie, Captain Planet.
Hold up. You can't even put superhero and Captain Planet in the same sentence, man. That is an abomination and it's sorcery.
Look, you talk about one of the shows I hate. I absolutely hate it. Captain Planet. I didn't give two, pardon my French, 2 shits about the memories of Captain Planet and all them cronies that used to run with it. I couldn't.
Is this gonna be a kids show?
It's got to be geared towards kids. There's no way. There's no absolute way that you're gonna get me a 35-year-old man to go watch Captain Planet.
If they had Don Cheadle play Captain America like he did in them YouTube movies, I will be there. I will be there.
No.
Yes. Have you seen the clips?
I saw it. No.
That's the funniest thing out there, man.
Don Cheadle. Just
YouTube. Yeah. YouTube is like 4 or 5 of them. I promise you, you're gonna die laughing at all of them.
No, I mean, is it supposed to be like a legit movie or is it gonna be like a comedy?
No, this is a legit movie, man.
Because I mean, you know they're doing like $6 Million Man, but it's supposed to be like a comedy $6 Million Man movie.
I can do it.
What?
Yeah, it's supposed to be Mark Wahlberg.
See, Alice got the same way. When he told me that, I did the same thing. Alice was like,
but it's not going to be called the $6 Million Man because $6 million these days is like nothing. It's supposed to be like the $60 Million Man.
Look, let me say this, man. Since we talking about throwback, did y'all get the word this week about Knight Rider? Did y'all hear about that?
Yeah.
No, what?
Oh yeah, they're bringing back Knight Rider, man, and it's supposed to be on Mishima. Hold on, let me pull up the article. Because I saw it earlier.
Knight Rider 2000.
Man, anybody watch the last one they came out with Knight Rider turned to an F-150?
The guy,
no.
Justin Lin is gonna be directing.
Fast and Furious director.
Yeah.
Even worse. The Fast, the Furious, or Fast and Furious.
So cars, yeah. So kids gonna be coming out of a skyscraper window, like in Fast and the Furious.
I mean, is he gonna be tuned out?
I might can dig that now.
I mean, is he gonna be like a Toyota Supra or something? Or are they gonna go back to the old car?
I don't know why they got.
I like him as a Ford Mustang. Honestly, I like the black Mustang.
No.
He's gonna be a Challenger.
No, he's going to be a Fiat.
Bro, come on now. You ain't like the Mustang, man.
No.
I didn't watch the show.
The only thing I ain't like about the Mustang, like I said, when he turned to the F-150 on that one episode, I like, that's too much.
I mean, the fact that to see what you just brought up, that made absolutely no sense. F1.
Hold on. You can't say nothing about that because we all enjoyed Megatron turning into a handgun. You can't say that.
Yeah,
You can't
that's
say
different.
But that was
That's different.
Megatron's. That was him.
No.
That was him.
It's not different. You got a car that transforms into a truck. Now you got a robot that's bigger than everybody else, turned into something that fits in all the other robots' hands.
He changes his molecular structure, man. You got to roll with it,
Think about
brother.
Sideway. He turned
So
into
did
a
Kid.
box.
Even better. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Even better.
Well,
I mean,
that
you look at the. Why can't I think of these transformers?
I don't even want to talk about the Transformers movie coming.
The only reason I give you that because the cannon on Megatron's shoulder was bigger than what he turned into.
Yeah.
So I give you that.
And that didn't transform. It just disappeared. Like
Hey.
Optimus Prime's rig just disappeared.
Look, they got it right with Galvatron though. They made him turn into a cannon with a full
Right.
stand.
Right. A kickstand. Yeah.
Right, with a full stand.
have y'all seen the production? Have y'all seen the? Have y'all, since TC brought it up, I had to go look. Have y'all seen the production shots from the Transformers? The
No.
medieval Game of Thrones.
I'm not looking for him.
I'm not even.
It could be based on that whole episode with King Arthur.
Oh,
When
yeah,
robots can
no,
stay in the
please
skies.
can't be playing.
Are you serious?
No, he's serious. 100%. He's
The
100%.
one where they went, where they went back in time, and it was Grimlock.
Oh God.
Yes.
Boom.
That episode.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
It's based
Good,
on that episode. Yes.
And they had the wizard,
Yes.
the
Yes.
gold wizard. Oh,
Yes.
God.
I've taken up for Michael Bay up until now. If I see that on screen, man,
You should have been stopped taking up for Michael Bay.
One of
I've been with
the
Michael
worst
Bay.
episodes. One of the worst episodes of Transformers in the history.
hey, it's in the top. It's top 5.
That's
Yeah,
when they
and
were riding on top of the jet with the spear. They were doing like the battle.
jousting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
Hey, man.
God.
Hey, check this out. I think we should go on to the top 10 right now.
But that's
Out
a
of
classic
all-
example, man. Michael Bay and Fox, man. If they would have a love child, man, the world would be in disarray.
Look,
Because
when Shia LaBeouf was there, I was with him. When Mark Wahlberg switched over and look, I was all for bringing Grimlock in, but like you said, if he didn't say meet Grimlock, that's all I had to hear. He could have said it in a robot voice. He could have said it in a dinosaur voice.
That
Man,
wasn't
they had
Grimlock.
2 different versions of Devastator in there, man.
That's not Devastator. That's
They called that thing
That was just
Devastator.
a robot.
They called that thing
No.
Devastator.
I don't recognize that.
Uh-uh. I ain't talking about the thing with the nuts.
You talking about the one in the
I know
first
what you're
one?
talking about.
He
The
was a
truck.
tank.
Or the
Yes,
tank
he was a
in the
tank
first-
in the first one.
Yes. Yes.
He was a tank. Then they came back and did the quote unquote real Devastator. Man, come on.
Look,
bro.
I'm even okay with him I'm even okay with him changing certain things because it's 2016. But I'm not okay with you bringing one of the worst episodes ever to the big screen. I can't be okay with that.
Out of all the episodes they could have picked,
I mean, all you gotta do is go find a Generation 1 episode.
all
Just pick
4
one.
seasons of it. All 4
Yeah.
seasons.
I mean, it's called Transformers Nights.
Yeah, night
Is the name of the movie.
song.
Ain't Rogers Prime supposed to be in this mess?
Hot Rod is, but don't
Hot
even
Rod
get me
is
on
in
that.
it. He's
Don't even get me on that.
isn't he like a Mustang or something like that?
No, he's not even as cool as a Mustang. No.
That's Xavier's boy, man, but I can't stand his ass either.
Well, you know it's a agenda behind these movies, man. You know, just that's why they made Bumblebee a Camaro. You know, they
At
had
least
they
they
had contracts for them some cars.
But at least they started out the
They gonna put
original.
they gonna put an old man Logan Dodge Ram in there.
You're right. They never. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ, man!
But I was cool with them changing Bumblebee. I just didn't like how he couldn't talk.
I just don't understand, man. Yeah, when you had a source material there, you go pick the worst episode you can go find.
the worst, man.
That's like with Miami Vice. You get the top of the line episode and you butchered the first
Man, you
episode.
had Colin Farrell in that movie. It was doomed from the beginning.
Look, that's like them picking the episode where the humans they were trying to find something for who birthday they were trying to find something for on Transformers.
Um,
What's the Madness? They were trying to find something.
oh, yeah, that's right. and then they got caught up in the library down in Cybertron, right? Me Grimlock like books.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Man, dude. Hey man, let's do this top 10, man.
And last, before we get to that,
We done went
last before
from
we get to that,
Fox.
this
and
is for
Michael-
Antonio Coleman. This is for Antonio Coleman. And this is for Al Rainey. That John Cena is being tapped to feature in a Marvel superhero movie that is yet to be named.
Ugh.
Hey, hold up, Al. At least it's not DC.
Shazam. It ain't Shazam.
I'll take him playing.
Thank you, Lord.
I'll take him playing Black Bolt, where he can never speak.
No.
Never
Yeah,
speak in the
yeah.
whole
Hey, look, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you this with Cena. Now, I don't like him as a wrestler, but he seems to be an all right guy. That little clip that they showed on Facebook of him being funny was actually funny.
Hey, you can be an all right guy. Hugh Jackman might be an all right guy.
But you know what? I
like
would,
Wolverine.
strange as it may sound, man, I could actually see him doing Black Bolt because, like he said, he got the bill for it and he doesn't have to talk. Just,
That's
just,
what Vin Diesel was trying to play.
Vin Diesel's
Vin
fine
Diesel.
where he's at.
He was trying to play him from the get go, before he became Groot.
Yeah, he's fine where
He's
he's
trying
at.
to play Vision too now.
Man, Vin Diesel just want to be whoever. I can't blame him for trying to be in the MCU. I really can't.
Check.
Exactly. And being a part of the MCU is going to be a good movie, with the
The
exception
MC
of Iron Man 3.
The MCU is adding extra years on these folk careers, man. Because
Yeah.
Yep.
if he wasn't doing Groot, he'd probably be cutting grass or he over
No.
five car wash.
It's been help Wesley.
He's still gonna be driving that car that's been blown in every movie.
Well, you know what's called Wesley gonna be in this stuff anyway because we got Blade 4 coming
That's what I'm
out.
talking about. It's been help Wesley career.
Tomb of Dracula. Told y'all.
Hey, I'm gonna be right back, y'all.
Okay. Tomb of
Cut
Dracula.
grass.
You gotta be ashamed of yourself, man.
All right, well, X will catch up with us, man. Let's go ahead and let's get to this top 10 for the week, man. All right, this week's top 10 is going to be loaded with controversy. There's going to be hurt feelings. Friends are going to be lost tonight. And people are going to have their feelings hurt, but this is going to be probably one of my favorite top 10s of the entire year. This is the top 10 hip-hop groups of all time. Of all time. And I'm going to let the guru himself of hip-hop, I'm going to let Larry Crocker, you are going
Man,
to
I can't go first, man. I couldn't. Hey, you know what?
tone.
With these groups, man, I couldn't even come up with. I got 10 groups. I couldn't even put them in any kind of order, though, man. So I was just gonna say these are 10 greatest, but I couldn't put them in order, man, because like you say, it's a lot of. Whoo. All right, so I'm gonna say, like I said, in no particular order. I'm gonna say Mobb Deep. I'm gonna say EPMD. Erica Parrish making dollars. I gotta put Cast in there, Outkast. I gotta put NWA. Bone Thugs. They changed the game. You gotta put Wu-Tang in there. You just have to. I wasn't a Wu-Tang fan by no stretch of the imagination, bro. But to not what they did for the whole genre would be sacrilegious. Tribe Called Quest. Run DMC. My favorite, personally, the Dog Pound, G Unit, and Run DMC. That's my 10.
I told y'all G-Unit was gonna be on the list.
Look at Al's face when he said G Unit.
Hey, I had to.
G-Unit was gonna be on this list.
I had to.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'll give you my top 10. It was hard to tell, but I'll give you my top 10. Number 10, the Fugees. Number 9, De La Soul. Number 8, Public Enemy. Number 7, EPMD. Number 6, the Legendary Roots Crew. Number 5, the Fugees. Number 4,
You had food.
Yeah, you got food on
I
that.
got Fugees. I'm sorry, my bad. So that one was So I got Fuji on that twice. So that meant that had to be NWA. Excuse me. NWA is on that one. Number 4, Tribe Called Quest. Number 3, Outkast. Number 2, Gangstar. And number 1, Wu Tang. Wu Tang.
Yeah, we knew it to be number 1.
On the brain. All right.
That's a damn shame.
Hey man, Shaolin Shadowboxer of the Wu Tang.
Man, they got some of the most overrated rappers ever, bro. In the Wu-Tang Clan. You realize that?
I'm not gonna disagree with you. I'm not. You thought I was going. You thought I was going to debunk that, did you? You thought I was going. Oh no. It's several people. There's several people in that. You God does not belong in the